Hey. Welcome back to Chronicles of the Curvaceous. You know we fabulous and tenacious. We're dropping faith-based weight loss motivation. Hey y'all, it's Queen Fitness here. I'm back again for yet another video. I am here for VEDO Day number 5. And VEDO Day number 5 is going to be all about tips to help change emotional eating. So, I did a little research and I looked at an article on helpguide.org, and the article was called Emotional Eating and How to Stop It. So I'm going to share with you 5 tips that I read from this article about how to stop emotional eating. First and foremost, let's just identify what emotional eating is. It's just what it says. When you are all upset, people tend to binge eat because of how they're feeling, and instead of processing their feelings, they mindlessly eat half a gallon of ice cream or just eat junk food to suppress how they're feeling. So the first tip that I want to talk about from this article, they said the experts recommend that instead of you just going straight into eating that thing that you're craving at that moment when you're upset, it says for you to take 5 minutes. Take 5 minutes and actually think about why you're craving this thing, and then you get a chance to get to know yourself and process what's going on. Ask yourself, like they said, ask yourself why you're craving it. Acknowledge how you're actually feeling at the moment. I'm upset, and then you can go into processing why you're upset. For me, like I said, what I wrote down here is journaling. So in that 5 minutes, when you're upset and you want to binge eat, you want to get into junk food, my recommendation to you is to have a actual journal and write down what made you upset and actually feel what you're going through, and then that'll help you get through those triggers, those moments when you just want to just go crazy with some snacks that you don't really need, instead of actually feeling how you feel. They said practice mindful eating, and for them the recommendation for mindful eating is to one tip, they said do not eat in front of the TV, don't have your phone on. At that moment, you just focus on actually eating your meal. You slow down and you taste it, and you actually chew your food 32 times and actually enjoy the meal versus just rushing through a thing and then overeating. So, tip 3 is a healthy lifestyle. And of course, we know a healthy lifestyle is being physically active, taking time to actually just relax and just do nothing, having a balanced diet, and also getting the proper rest. You need at least 8 hours of sleep every night. The tip number 4 was connecting with other people, having friends and having other people that you just support you on your journey is so beneficial. The last tip 5 is keep an emotional eating diary. You guys, I'm just kind of looking down at a few of the notes that I jotted down. So on my journey, I told you guys there was a time where I went from being starving myself to over, just like you said, just emotional eater. Every time I got upset or whatever, I just would just down a box of Little Debbie's and eating all this junk food, to binge eating. Now I'm at a point now where I'm developing healthy habits with my eating. So I'm being more intentional about making sure I get a balanced meal and making sure that I am eating consistently. And so I think that this article was definitely something that aided is going to be something that's definitely going to aid me on the journey, because a history of working in restaurants and stuff like that and not having a whole lot of time to actually sit down and enjoy a meal, used to having to rush through something. Now trying to break that bad habit and learning to just sit down and actually enjoy a meal. and actually, think about what I'm, different textures and different flavors and different smells and all that stuff that you associate with a meal. So really, all your senses are involved in consuming a meal. But a lot of times we don't even really think about the fact that, okay, if your plate is not visually appealing, you're not going to desire it. So when it comes down to trying to introduce healthy foods to your diet, you want to try to make sure along all of it is every area is being positively impacted. You want to make your plate just like the restaurants. Part of the reason why they are so successful, those expensive restaurants, is because of their plating. The way the meal is presented to you, it grabs your eyes immediately. And then, of course, if the smells of a good meal draw you in with the just walking in, oh, it smells so good. That and the seasonings, all of those things play a role in it. So if you're preparing these healthy meals and something about it is turning you off, maybe you might need to tweak one of these areas. Maybe you might need to try to make it look more fancy on your plate, or make sure that the flavor is there by giving it enough seasons, and play with how you prepared it. Maybe last time you baked it, and this time you should saute it, or maybe try just like pan searing or whatever. You might have to just try a different approach of how you prepared it. Sometimes, like I know, like certain foods, if you cook asparagus too long, it become mushy and you don't really want to eat it. So I mean, maybe might need to cut back on how long you're cooking it. Find you some new recipes and different ways to prepare it, to see if maybe it wasn't that you just didn't like the vegetable. It's just you didn't like the way that it was prepared. I know that like certain if the squash is just boiled to death, I don't like it. But if it's sauteed and it's with onions and you add a little flavor to it, then I like squash that way. So I mean, you could do squash in the casserole. You can do other different ways to actually get the vegetables in and not lose the flavor. So yeah, so there's the tips that I have for you. Let's just go back over these 5 tips again, so that you can get them down, so that you can help if you are one of those people like me who have problem with emotional eating. Like I said, the first tip was to take 5 minutes and actually process your feelings, and then ask yourself why you're craving that thing. And you may even want to, in that 5 minutes, give yourself time to choose an alternative. Instead of eating that, maybe you want to go do some cardio. Maybe you want to go journal. Something else that'll get your mind off of that emotional eating. And then after you go journal and after you go exercise, then you'll determine if you really wanted it, if you really needed that snack. Maybe you just seen it, somebody else just came into the room with it and it just drawed your attention. So the also a benefit for me, what kind of helped a lot with me eating Little Debbie's, is reading the actual back of the package and seeing how many calories is in it, and comparing that to how long I have to be on a treadmill to burn one off. So when I started to see that there's 400 calories in one Little Debbie, and it takes 65 minutes on the treadmill to burn off those 400 calories, I said, okay, you know what? I don't even really want a Little Debbie that bad. It ain't even really worth it. So maybe that might be something also that'll help you with your emotional eating. And plus, if you know that you have a habit with overeating snacks and things of that nature, just don't buy them. If you don't keep them in the house, you won't overdo it with them. So yeah, like I said, practice the mindful eating. It's step 2, and they said no TV, no phone, sit down at the table, chew your food 32 times, and savor your food. Actually take the time to taste it, You might want to think about the texture, think about the smell, think about the flavor that it gave, and then it give you the opportunity to, all right, get connected to the food that you're actually eating. Um, Tip number 3 was the healthy lifestyle, and it was talking about physical activity, relaxation, having a balanced meal, and proper rest. 8 hours of sleep. Yeah, so tip number 4 again was connect with others, like hanging out with your friends, spending time with family. The support groups are always beneficial when you're trying to work through things like emotional eating. So tip 5 was having an emotional food diary, writing down those foods that you crave when you're upset, or when you're going through mood swings from like that time of the month, or when you're having a bad breakup and you want to decide to binge eat because you just process your feelings and write down what it was that caused you to be there, and then give yourself time to actually process it. And maybe, like I said, for me, cardio is a big thing. When I know I'm upset, instead of me, I train myself, instead of just going straight to the snacks, which I have stopped buying. Just go to the pavement. Say, hey, I'm upset. I know I need to burn some calories off. I need to really get this off of me. I get rid of these feelings. Go and get you some cardio in. Get on the phone, talk to a friend, let it out, get through it. But that's what I have for you guys. This is VEDO day number 5 in the box. We're all about how to stop emotional eating. If it's the Lord's will, I'll see you tomorrow. But in the meantime, I want you to embrace and enjoy your journey. Goodbye for now.